A Seattle landlord's rental property was taken over by squatters with a fake lease who had an OnlyFans account and installed a stripper pole in the living room. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, so I have an interesting article for you today, and it's going over problems that a landlord in Seattle area had with squatters. And these squatters, they were quite interesting because apparently the intention was to run the OnlyFans account out of this landlord's property. Okay, so they played the old scam of where they move into the property, they have a fake lease, and then they're telling the police that they're actually tenants in the property, and so therefore the police are like, oh, no, we don't want to remove them. Well, that isn't exactly what happened in this situation. It was actually kind of surprising, the result of this story. And I'll get into it as I go through the article. But, it, in my opinion, it should be pretty simple to be able to get these kind of squatters out of a property. You should be able to tell the police, hey, these people, they're not tenants here. They don't live here. They're trespassing. And the police should just come and then haul their butts away. But unfortunately, a lot of places, they make it so that you have to go through the entire eviction process in order to get rid of people who are simply trespassing. And so they can do thousands of dollars worth of damage. They can, really just screw a landlord over. And that's why, I cover these sort of stories. I want people to know that, hey, this is the sort of thing that landlords have to go through all the time. This is why we have all of the procedures and policies and, stuff that we put into place, okay? Because we have to deal with these sort of, scammers, okay? And when we deal with scammers, that makes it more difficult, more expensive for our regular tenants. So, this is a problem that obviously can happen anywhere throughout the entire country. But I have a problem with is when certain municipalities in certain parts of the country say, well, we're going to make it as difficult as possible for a landlord to be able to remove these people from our property. So they have to go jump through all these hoops. So when they throw all these eviction laws into place, they don't take into consideration that scammers are going to take advantage of landlords. They don't even think about that. So that's why I don't like to see these sort of laws put into place in the first place. So before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe button, maybe leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. So, you know, could you imagine having a squatter tenant who is running an OnlyFans page and installs a stripper pole in your living room? I mean, that's absolutely insane. And are you surprised that a landlord was able to get this tenant out of the property without having to go through the eviction process in a place like Seattle? I know I am. I'm absolutely shocked about it. But anyway, put your squatter stories, if you have any, down in the comments section below, and we'll comment on these as we go through it. So anyway, let's get into this article and see what it says. This article is coming from themessengernews.com, and it says evicted Washington squatters including an OnlyFans influencer leave behind a stripper pole and half-eaten cake. When the homeowner confronted the couple, they claimed to have a signed lease on the home. Yeah, and like I said, that's a common tactic. But anyway, let's get into the article and see what it says. After Seattle police removed two squatters from a home they had moved into, the owner found one of them, who called herself an OnlyFans influencer, had installed a stripper pole in the living room. Lika Devatha posted on Instagram about having to deal with the squatters after the couple moved into her unoccupied rental property and made it their own. Devatha also said when she went to the home and confronted the couple, they claimed they had signed a lease on the unit but refused to show it to her. And as I've mentioned many times before, Seattle is one of those places where I would never buy a rental property. And the reason is because they have so many tenant protections in place that even in a situation like this where you have obvious scammers, there's no telling what the reaction from the police are going to be, if they're going to actually remove the tenants or if they're going to force you to go through a very long eviction process. And you might even end up better off paying the tenant to leave in that sort of case, because it could take so long to be able to get them out of there that you will lose even more money than what you would have spent if you had just paid them to go. She then looked into the home and saw they had ripped out carpets and torn out door jambs. They claimed they were doing renovations on the triplex. When first called the police, they told her it wasn't a criminal matter and that she needed to go to civil court to get them out of the house, she said. And yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. So, first time when she called the police, they said, hey, no, no, this is a civil matter, landlord versus tenant. And you're like, no, no. She probably was sitting there telling them, no, these people, they don't have a lease. They are, this is all fraud. This is obvious fraud, and they are trespassing. And the problem I have is when the police don't listen to the property owner. Okay, we are not trying to scam. We're not trying to cheat. This is a common scam by these squatters, and we can be out tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in damages alone. And when you throw lost rent on top of that, you're talking about, hey, this is a very precarious situation. These people should be thrown in jail for trespassing, for breaking and entering, for theft, etc. They should not be allowed to stay. But her lawyer told KIRO that it was obviously trespassing, which is a crime. It's very clear somebody broke the lock. They changed the locks and they entered a property that they were not authorized to, and now they're refusing to leave, Cynthia Melton said. Melton filed a formal request to evict the trespassers, and this time police responded. They broke down the front door and forced them out. Now, there finally some good news, and out of all places, out of Seattle. So what this landlord did, it was very smart, was she contacted her lawyer. Okay, and her lawyer, knowing the law, knowing what the police would need in order to remove these tenants, went back to the police and said, listen, I am filing a formal complaint of trespassing against these people. Remove them now. Okay, that is maybe what is necessary in a place like Seattle to be able to get past all of the regular nonsense. So these tenants, knowing the landlord tenant law, thought that they were good to go because they had their fake lease and all that, not realizing that, hey, this landlord wasn't just going to take the police's word for it and let these people stay. No, this landlord contacted the lawyer. The lawyer, knowing the law, went back, filed the formal complaint, and then the police had to take action. And at that point, they were able to get this tenant up out of there. So in this situation, the landlord actually won in Seattle. Can you believe it? Man, I'm surprised. Okay, I was not expecting that outcome in this situation. They left behind all the items they had moved into the home, including a partially eaten cake. Devatha told the TV station that she was relieved the adult performer is gone. I don't know if she was planning on creating content here or what she was doing, but it's just scary to think that that's what they were going to use the unit for, she said. And yeah, obviously they were going to make adult entertainment inside your property, okay? Scammers, squatters, whatever you want to call these people, right? They're garbage. And sitting there, breaking into your place, making pornography inside your unit. I mean, give me a break. Now, honestly, if they had come to you, they had paid you the rent, and then they made pornography in your unit, that they agreed to, pay for and remove all of the stripper pole and all that. If they were actual tenants, I'd be okay. Well, that's cool. But the truth of the matter is, they tried to get something for free, and they're basically nothing but thieves, in my opinion. Thieves who broke into this property, had no right to be there, and yet almost the landlord got caught up in a situation where they couldn't get rid of them. So, good for you for contacting your lawyer and having the lawyer take care of the situation. But, how much did you have to pay the lawyer to do that? So you could still easily be out thousands of dollars just in that alone. And so, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a win for the landlord. Maybe other Seattle landlords can look and see what you did and be able to handle squatters in the same manner.